Hello, I'm Arman Khodaei. This is a video response. This video response is to Aspie37. His name is Gary, but his YouTube name is Aspie37. Video Life as an Adult with Asperger Syndrome. So in his video, he primarily talks about four aspects: forming relationships, his independence, because he's like in his 30s and still living with his parents, work, job, getting money, that kind of thing, and also government support through the actual Australian government. So I'm going to talk about these things, and I'm actually going to talk about the United States government towards the end. So let's start off with work. So I guess from what I gather from watching Gary's videos is that he has a job and he's very grateful and he has some relationships there, but overall he is not making enough money and that kind of a thing. So he talks about, he has done some interviews, but those interviews never, or he has put in some job applications, but those applications never get anywhere. It's a pain, it's a hassle. And I'll say this, yeah, I have a lot of people in my autism groups, some of them really want jobs and stuff like that. They don't put in the applications all the time, that kind of thing. Of course, now people are using the economy as an excuse. Myself, for a long time I haven't been looking for a job, and I still live with my parents, or with my dad actually, and I really haven't bothered with the job aspect. I have this little writing job, but the reason why is because I find, like Aspie37 was saying, that a work can affect his quality of life because of societal expectations, whatever. A job, getting a certain type of job could really affect the quality of my life. If it's the wrong type of job for me and it stresses me out, it's just not worth it, because it just stops me from working on my book. It stops me from enjoying life. So I cannot dedicate myself to something that doesn't make me, that just seems to take away from myself. And not only that, I've been really, I'm not going to use the economy as an excuse over. I have not necessarily been doing the best job looking for a job, or even trying to go back to college like my parents want me to do. Why? Because I've been focusing on my book. That's why, because I wanted to get my book out of the way. So I've been sacrificing, money and freedom and independence and ability to do things for my book, my memoir, A Boy in Wonderland. Now, the good news is that it's pretty well getting close to the final stages. I'm writing up a book proposal now, and I'm going to send off the book proposal and the finished manuscript. The book is pretty much finished, to an editor, and then the editor's going to go through it, and from there I'm going to make more edits to it. I don't know how long that process is going to take. It could be a few more months, or it could be less than a few more months. I do not know. From there I'm going to go look for an agent. How long that process will take, I don't know. Then the agent will find a publisher for me, and then the publisher might ask for more edits, that kind of stuff. Then the book will get published. So it's still a long process away, but I've been focusing on just this. And I've been locked up in my room all this time. Relationships have been very slim and far in between. I do have a few friendships still that I've developed through running my autism groups, and because of that and other things. But overall, I haven't been living to my fullest potential, and I don't regret that. I don't regret not going back to college. I could go back to college, and perhaps I will once my book is done. I guess it really depends on. I have a few more book ideas. It really depends on if I can sustain myself writing books. If the first book does well, then I'll be writing my other books, because I have several book ideas. But I've been trying to stay true to myself. That's why I haven't pursued that. So, going back to Aspie37, he talks about how it is hard to enter relationships. And he says, his work, he has some relationships there, but the really close relationships, those are hard to enter. I think I keep everyone at a distance. A lot of people come my way, because of my autism groups and stuff like that, but I haven't been really seeking out the type of people that I really want to hang out with, per se. And part of me doesn't care. Part of me, would like, one or two close relationships. Really, what I would really like is a romantic relationship with someone else. But I haven't 100% really put myself out there for several reasons, because I'm not financially stable at this point, being the biggest reason. Number two was I was healing. I'm pretty good now, but I had the relationship that ended a couple years ago, and it was just absolutely devastating to me. And I've been focusing on my book, so I realized that having a relationship will take me away from getting my #1 goal done. I really want to get that done and out of the way, for that reason. I don't want other people to affect me. And that's another reason why I don't take a relationship, because I don't want other people to drag me down at this point. I'm trying to raise myself back up. I'm trying to create an ideal future for myself. And some people think that the route I'm going, namely my parents, mainly my parents, don't think the route that I'm going will help me get myself back onto my feet, but I feel like it will. So that's there you go. I have to believe in myself, so that's what I'm going to do. Aspect 37 talks about the Australia government and primarily autism services for adults with autism. Now, Aspect 37, if you're watching this video, this might come as a little bit surprise for you, but the U.S. government, when it comes to adult services for autism, especially Asperger Syndrome, there is very little. Those individuals with adults who are very low functioning, malfunctioning, there are things out there, and there's actually a few things for Asperger Syndrome, but very, very little. Very little. I was actually asked by a government agency to create a young adult group, and that's like one of the only services that young adults with Asperger's high functioning autism have. Yeah, there's a lot of in the United States. There are a pretty good amount of services for children with autism. Not necessarily Asperger Syndrome, actually, because Asperger Syndrome is not always recognized, depending on school districts and whatever, as a disability or something like that. So, in that regard, there is definitely a huge lack in the United States. So I'm not saying, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, the United States also has its issues. I don't know how Australia's like, but from what you're saying, it's absolutely horrible. In the United States, it's pretty horrible when we come to adult. Once a kid hits 20 in like California, services pretty much stop. Or even 18. Some of them get up to 20 because they can go up to like to 20 or so in high school, in California or something like that. In California, this is like, huge, place in the United States. I live in Southern California, so there's a lot of available resources, but for adults, where all this stuff should be, there's practically nothing. It's really abysmal. It's a disgrace. You talked about how there's stuff in the United Kingdom. I don't know about the United Kingdom. Perhaps there is better stuff out there, but United States, once you hit over 18, the parents are stuck with what they have, and the person on the autism spectrum is stuck where they are. There's a few cases, but there you go. Let me just quickly talk about some of the people in my autism group and how they relate to your video, Aspect 37. So, a lot of the people there don't have jobs. A lot of people there live with their parents. Actually, every single one except for one person in my group lives with their parents. Actually, two. A couple of people do not live with their parents. One person, the parents actually pay for their housing. So the person is independent living, but their parents are paying for it. The other person, they're actually in a special community for people with autism. But other than that, everybody else lives with their parents, including myself. So it's definitely there's something going on in terms of us being able to live on our own. I do know that who doesn't attend my group, who used to attend my groups but doesn't attend my young adult group too much. He actually does live independently. He is engaged to another person on the autism spectrum, and they live together. So every now and then, there's definitely success. I intend on one day being independent, but that is an issue. Work, jobs, most of these people who attend my group do not have a job. Relationships, most people who attend my group have very few relationships. That's one of the biggest reasons why they come to my group, is hoping to find friendships and find common ground, and that's a really big thing. So this theme, that you're describing, it doesn't happen just to me, or for parents watching this, or whoever. These are common threads that happen for a lot of people with autism, high function autism, Asperger syndrome, whatever. It happens in all that regard. And one of the things, though, what do the people want in my group? What do they tell me they want? Well, they want a job. Some of them want an education, and almost all the people there in my group say, they want a romantic relationship. They want to find that significant other. I mean, some of them, they might not tell their parents, that they want that because they're a little bit scared, but they confide in me that's something that they really want. So, but, because of the whole situation and their social anxiety, their inept, lack of social skills and everything like that, it makes it hard. Then there's a lack of money. So, that's a big thing. And I'm trying to work with these people, in my group. I really want them to be successful. I want them to be financially stable. I would love to see them, all find wonderful, partners and to get married and all that. I would really, that would definitely make my day. So, I'm working on myself, and what I discover of myself, how I've helped overcome most of my aspects of autism. I help the people in my group do that as well. And I absolutely believe, and everybody that attends my group, I so much believe that they can achieve their dreams, and I'm just grateful that I can be there and help them out, and to help them develop better social skills and all that stuff. I'm just it's very exciting. And hopefully, through this group, I can be able to learn new things, and I can create a system that I can create more groups like this around the United States and across the world to help other people on the autism spectrum, be independent, to find romantic relationships, to develop strong social skills. That is a long-term goal of mine. And I would really, and hopefully, I can make that goal of mine come true someday. So, I know that was kind of a sidetrack, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that what I said has helped somebody out or something like that, given some insight. I thank you so much, and wish all of you a most awesome day of awesomeness. Thank you, and bye.